Hello Chrysalids, I'm Luminary. Welcome to the channel of Temple of Chrysalis. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the kaleidoscopic system, so the kaleidoscopes. What are they and how are you supposed to use them? The kaleidoscopes are sort of like aspects of life. They are used to have different kind of perspectives on problems, issues, or even positive matters. The term kaleidoscope refers to of course, to the object, the kaleidoscope. Probably you have seen those things, at least as a kid, It's this kind of like a tube that when you put it in front of you and start turning it, you will see patterns and colors and shapes inside which take different kind of form every time you turn the object. But that is not all. Kaleidoscope also refers to the flock of butterflies. So like we have the murder of crows, we also have a kaleidoscope of butterflies. In addition to using the kaleidoscopes to view the world from different kind of angles, you can also use them to sort of define one's personality. Think about them kind of like horoscopes or houses, but still very different, because you are never just one kaleidoscope, but your personality depends on how much of each kaleidoscope you have in you. The kaleidoscopes are partially dependent on the time period and culture, so they are not intended to remain the same throughout the years. But still, I'd say that everyone has at least like 3 top kaleidoscopes, and they form the core of your personality. Because the kaleidoscopes have not been developed by some professional psychologists or something like that, because they've been developed by me, I hope that everybody keeps in mind that these are not something very strict. So you shouldn't kind of limit yourself based on the kaleidoscopes, but you should use them as a tool. How do you really use them as a tool? So first, think about how the object called kaleidoscope works. When you turn it and you see all the patterns, as I mentioned before, that is exactly how we can perceive life, So let's say you have an issue. You pick one of the kaleidoscopes and then you think about this maybe like issue that you have through that kaleidoscope. So we have 6 main kaleidoscopes and one that is only, at least for now, only open for the initiated chrysalids. These 6 kaleidoscopes are what I told you about the kaleidoscope, and then take that to the temple's kaleidoscopic system. When a concept or matter at hand is sort of like turned and viewed from different kind of perspective, it becomes possible to perceive different kind of sides and angles and shapes of the matter that you are dealing with. So let's say that you wake up and you are so angry and depressed. How do you start using the kaleidoscopes? Well, first, let's pick one. Let's take Lamproptera, which was the kaleidoscope of passion. So Lamproptera here symbolizes creativity, the burning flame inside. It's all about enjoyment and pleasure and sexuality, hedonism, art, beautiful things, aesthetics. So when we consult Lamproptera's kaleidoscope, we ask what are the things that we have done or left undone that are somehow related to Lamproptera, and how do those things affect to our current mind state. Sorry for my Finnish accent. So after examining yourself for a while from the Lamproptera's perspective, you might figure out that, hey, I haven't actually done anything fun in a while. Let's say that you're an artist and you figure out that,
oh wow, I haven't actually created any art in ages, and that's usually what fuels me up.
Lamproptera gives you answers. What are the things that you need to do in order to make yourself to feel the pleasure and enjoyment? It could also be like, hey, I haven't eaten anything since yesterday's lunch, and well, that would be quite natural. You might be experiencing like low blood sugars, and then well, thinking about the low blood sugars, we are kind of approaching science, and that's where we take the kaleidoscope of Parthenos. Parthenos is the kaleidoscope of order. It represents science, different kind of structures, like logical thinking, everything that can be proved somehow, or what humankind has proven. They are those people who put everything in Excel sheets, you know? Here, you could think about, for example, like,
okay, so the Lamproptera figured out that I haven't been eating.
And here Parthenos could bring in the science. So what happens when you don't eat? Well, your blood sugars might go down, you aren't getting any energy inside you, and after that, what happens is the different kind of chemicals in your brain start flowing and doing their thing, and all that causes you to feel bad. If you are really close to spiritual views and spirituality is a very important matter to you, then you should definitely consult the Kaleidoscope of Aqueous. Aqueous is responsible of representing the magical world, supernatural, spirituality, other realms, dimensions and realities. I'm not myself so much into chakras, but if you are, then you could see like, okay, my heart chakra isn't really feeling well. Not sure how you say that. If you are a chakra person, then just give me some kind of example how you would use Aqueous here. Or if you are a very religious person, you might think like,
oh, I haven't worshipped my god and that causes me to feel bad.
Or something like that. I hope that you don't have that kind of gods who make you feel bad. Not much of a good god there. It could also be about your mind state in general. Aqueous isn't only about those like religious topics or things like that, but it can also be about your state of mind, mindfulness. You haven't maybe meditated in a while. What Aqueous tells you is to take good care of your mind and the mental state. And then you could consult one of the most favorited, or I don't know, at least this kaleidoscope has a lot of fans into the temple, but the one and only Trogonoptera. Trogonoptera is the kaleidoscope of darkness. Trogonoptera symbolizes suffering and pain, and you could easily think that, oh wow, these Slytherins of the Chrysalis path are somehow evil, but that's very black and white way of thinking, and there is so much more to Trogonoptera than just being evil. So Trogonoptera is there to help you understand why are you suffering, why are you feeling this bad. You could in general just seek for empathy from Trogonoptera. Trogonoptera is it's more like, usually this kaleidoscope isn't so much for sympathy, it's more like antipathy. But when it comes to suffering, that's where Trogonoptera is there to take you to its embrace and help you survive this moment. A person who has a lot of Trogonoptera could be either someone who has suffered from depression or is suffering from depression, thinking things always in a negative way. Trogonopteras are also calculative and manipulative. Yes, and they are very intelligent also, typically. Definitely it's not only about something evil, but something that helps you to understand things that are not so pleasant to you. And there is another kaleidoscope who is more into sympathy and empathy, and that is Dryokampa. So Dryokampa takes care of social interaction, communication, relationships between human, or like what kind of approach you have to animals. So everything that happens between two or more living creatures. You can also use Druakampa to empathize yourself, but in this case, if we go back to our example topic, that you are waking up in a bad and depressed mood, here you could also notice
that, oh wow, well, I haven't spoken to any of my friends about this. Could that maybe help? Or maybe I'm experiencing social exhaustion.
That also would be the area of Druakampa. What Druakampa basically tells you is how your social interactions have affected or could now affect to your current mindset and mental state. And then we come to the Kaleidoscope of sahajiya, which is probably the rarest of them, at least by far. And what I mean with this rarity of this kaleidoscope is that very few adults seem to have sahajiya as their main kaleidoscope. So sahajiya represents brightness, goodness, kindness, and of course we all should have at least a little bit of sahajiya, otherwise we probably wouldn't exist. But the thing is, we often are born with this kind of like a purity and grounded ways of thinking, being close to nature and earth, and then as we grow up and we get hits and we get mentally, spiritually damaged, then we enter the Trogonoptera. So of course it's not always like that, not in all the cases. We also have those darkling children, but in most cases we are born with more sahajiya, and when we age and we experience suffering in our life, we go more towards to Trogonoptera. But sahajiya is very beautiful because it offers you like self-compassion and sympathy in a very like a different kind of way. It helps you to get rid of like unnecessary anger and lust for revenge. There is a time and place for that drop of Trogonoptera, but at some point it will be exhausting. And to be able to get over it, like really just get over things too at some point. Stop holding the crutches forever, because that will only devour your own soul. So that's where sahajiya comes. And this kaleidoscope will advise you to gently find the things that really, truly matter in your life. You know, there are a lot of assholes there. And yeah, they deserve to have some hatred every now and then. But at some point, you will not benefit at all for being constantly so negative. So listen to sahajiya, find the actual meaningful things, and follow that path too. Be good to yourself. It does demand quite a bit of willpower sometimes to find the switch of sahajiya, but you can do it. Oh god, I never thought that I would be talking something like that on YouTube. I don't really care. This lady stopped giving a fuck like a year ago. That was my Trogonoptera speaking, by the way. Then there is one more way to use the kaleidoscopes, and that is changing the labels that we have. I'm sure you have some kind of negative labels about yourself, and by labels I mean these kind of like marks that you have given to yourself. Let's say that you think that you are very shy, or that maybe you are too talkative, or you might say to yourself that I'm stupid. Those things are all labels, and they might not be even true. Even if they would be partially true, with the kaleidoscopes you can change these labels. Let's take, for example, slut shaming. A woman who is having a lot of sex, to some people might be seen as a slut. But from the perspective of the Kaleidoscope of Lamproptera, that person could be this dazzling, gorgeous, charismatic, sexually aware, conscious, beautiful creature of passion. So it's all about like how you turn the kaleidoscopes. Or we could, for example, take the label of I'm too loud and turn it upside down, thinking that,
oh, I am actually very good at communicating and I'm brave enough to, form words and raise my voice.
so you could, instead of thinking that you are too loud, you can think that, hey, I'm social, extrovert, talkative, or whatever is that positive label that you can give instead of the negative label. Thank you very much for joining today, and I hope that you had some more information about the Temple of Chrysalis and the Chrysalis path. And if you wish to join, you can visit our website. Bad cold reader. So if you want to join or read more about our views, go to templeofchrysalis.com and you will find articles and our principles and our edict, which is this kind of like a rule book. So yeah, this was Luminary speaking. Until next time, see ya.